This is a 1945 2N, and I know that because of the model number that I can actually read on this tractor. It is more complete than the other one, but as you can see, that is a big problem, and the other one on the other side is not much better. So we're going to get this one back running again, put it to work on the farm. We're going to rob whatever pieces we need, including the rear tires, off of that other machine. And you know what? It's been a few years, 4 or 5 at least, probably, since this thing's run. And I'm excited to, you know, be a little bit of a challenge. It'll be a fun time though. My name's Reagan. This is the GWP Homestead. Let's get to work. Okay, so the absolute first thing I have to do is get this thing to where it'll roll. And so I'm going to take the rim off of this tire, do the same thing on the one on the inside, and basically replace this wheel, that wheel right there, so I could roll it in the shop and keep working on it. Working on uneven ground out here, I'm going to throw a high lift jack underneath this side and block it up, either probably blocks and a jack stand, honestly, just to keep that wheel up. And this one's okay, but I will end up replacing it. That tire probably had a really good life, but it's gone now. And this one, the tread on the outside's okay, but the sidewall starting to come apart there. So, you know, we'll deal with it. I do have this wheel right here blocked off. This one is not going to roll, but when I start getting that thing up, that one might want to try to. So got it blocked off, and I'm also going to put this thing in first just to keep it from trying to roll anywhere. Safety, 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 guys. I went ahead and removed the wheel, the whole wheel assembly from the hub on this tire. I had planned on only taking the rim off, but if you'll notice, looking at the tread on the tire that came off, you know, this way is supposed to run forward. You know, the wheel's supposed to turn that way, but this rim is actually on backwards. You know, this would be outside, and as I flip you around here, you know, that's where the head of those carriage bolts are. So while the way it's set up on the tractor, this is the outside, wheel turns that way. In reality, the wheel or the rim or whatever part of the tire it is supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be flipped. So almost this is a backwards tire. So when I realized I was going to have to take this off there anyway, I went ahead and just took the whole thing off. Honestly, it wasn't any harder, because I guess the benefit, maybe if this is filled with fluid, you can do it a little simpler and easier, but it didn't hardly weigh anything. So no problem there. And doing it that way actually made it a lot easier over here as well, because instead of having to fight with some odds and end, you know, like I got a square head bolt there. Why is that there? I don't know. It really just made it easier. Just take the whole thing off there. And so now we're going to take that tire, put it on here, and then pull this sucker into the garage, and we'll be ready to do some more work. I think something's off here. So we got the tractor rolled back into the shop. No problem really. I think I got a brake kind of trying to hang up over there on that side, but having this wheel replaced was a super big help, even though, you know, even if I did want to like not put this one, transfer this one to that side, because that one's not in great shape. I'm going to have to anyway, because I didn't even realize that they weren't the same size. I hadn't paid close enough attention. So we'll do that soon. First thing I did when we rolled it into the shop, bring it forward here, I took all the spark plugs out and just quickly checked them over. They had some oil on them, even though this thing hasn't run. So we're going to pretend we didn't see that. Apparently we've also got, I guess, a transmission or some kind of leak back there. Hey, BG Cat, you're a sweetie. Some kind of other leak back there. We're going to pretend we didn't see that either. And then kind of started to tinker around a little bit with the carburetor and the downpipe there from the air breather. Air cleaner, excuse me. Something else I picked up was, you know, I bought a whole assortment of these grease fittings. A few different sizes and styles, thread pitches, and I think I picked this up from Andrew Camerata, watching him on YouTube. Basically, I think he said anytime you see a grease fitting, take it off and replace it with one. So I've got that one there. I've got another one on the other side. Got a small one there as well that has not been fixed. And I'm pretty sure the small ones that I've got in my little box here are different sizes. There's a different thread pitch. So I can't replace it with what I've got. And you know what? We're going to pretend we didn't see that either. When I pulled the plugs out, I sprayed some fogging oil down in the cylinders as well, just to make sure this thing would turn and kind of pre-lubricate those cylinders. Turn the engine a little bit with the crank pulley. I got a screwdriver in there. These engines, I assume, once upon a time used to be a hand crank, and so they've got a key or something on the front of that crank pulley where you could put that handle and crank this thing and turn it with the radiator on here. I'll show you on the other one in just a second. You could, crank that thing by spinning it. Well, now you can just put a screwdriver in there and at least just turn this thing a little bit and make sure everything's clean, or turning nice and easy, everything's free. So that's no problem. That's where the oil filter is. So we'll check that, probably replace it just to be on the safe side. I'll clean that kind of, I don't like bare wires. I'll clean that up as well. There's a better view of my mystery puddle. The primary immediate objective is to get that tractor running. Some of the minor things like, maybe I got a leaky rear axle, transmission, something like that, I'll deal with it eventually. I'm not super worried about it now. I want to get this thing fired up and, put it around the yard. You can see on the crank pulley there, it used to have, something would come through here. It would interface there. My screwdriver was a little short. But now, of course, now that I got this thing turned enough I can get a screwdriver in there, what I've been doing is just taking a screwdriver, and of course this is the parts tractor. You take that in there and just ever so slightly turn that. And so I did that to that machine a few times, and everything turns just fine. So I'm not, I don't have any hesitancy about putting a battery in this thing and firing it up. I got to get this tire off, and I am having a really hard time getting those bolts. I've got the nuts off, but I can't get the bolts to go back through there. And this little ball peen hammer, I've tried it, it's not doing enough. So we're going to switch over and use the sledge. Dad used to call this guy John Henry. So we're going to give her the old tap tap taparoo. I'm an idiot. I'm trying to get these bolts off of there, those studs. I don't have to remove them. I can just take the nut off and just remove the whole tire and leave the bolt where they're at. Why do I need to take the stud out? Wheels torqued. The tractor is down off the jack stands. Went ahead and put that other battery terminal that we were missing. Of course, I did that one earlier because it was easier to do. I'm not going to fool around with a carburetor at the moment, and I'm supposed to have a breather tube that comes from here that goes up to the air cleaner that's not installed, and I cannot for the life of me figure out. I even moved this bracket. I cannot figure out how the down tube and the bracket, that coupling right there, why it don't want to work. So just to start off here, I'm going to run it without the pipe and give her just a spritz of go-go juice there, just to help her along. I don't want to run too much of it. Check the oil and the filter, and then I cleaned out the sediment bowl. It's still got some sludge down in there, but I just try to clean the main stuff out. So before I add any coolant, like I said, the oil looks good, everything looks like we're ready to go. We'll throw a battery in her and just see if she'll bark off. This restoration wouldn't be possible without help from our wonderful sponsors, like my friend Zach, who hooked me up with a great deal on this battery. Appreciate it, buddy. found a leak in the sediment bowl over here. So kind of fix that up. Now I notice I got a gas leak over there. Let's just go. All right, give her some choke. Bring the thunder. Let's address that water issue. Let's yeah, I should have looked into that. All right, bring the thunder again. Let's check something else. I don't know, we'll find out. All right, here's where we're at. We didn't have spark, so I've got new spark plugs on all 4 cylinders, new spark plug wires on all 4 cylinders, and then we pulled the distributor off in here. New coil, new points, new everything, except for I think it's the rotor, the part that actually plugs into the engine, and then the distributor itself, that part. But we got a new cap, new coil, new points, cleaned up, and the best part is I plug that on. Let me get in here. See that? Hope you can see that light. Get right in there, in amongst it. Got spark. Tested all 4 cylinders. We got spark. So let's see what happens. Okay, bring the thunder.
sure y'all can tell by the look on my face, but I am so excited to have this tractor running again, and we're going to put it to work around here. Can't wait to get that underway. And you know, really there's just a few things more that I have to do before we can really start working with this, and that leaky fuel line and the sediment bowl are probably the two most pressing things. Putting an air cleaner on it so we don't suck anything through the carburetor that's not supposed to be there. Getting the lights working, accessorizing the tractor a little bit, you know, just kind of some stuff like that. But if you're enjoying this kind of content, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. We sure appreciate having y'all around and following along with our family. We just appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you soon.